Mother, mother, what ill-bred aunt, or what disfigured and unsightly cousin did you so unwisely keep unasked to my christening, that she sent these ladies in her stead, with heads like darning eggs, to nod and nod and nod at foot and head, and at the left side of my crib? Mother, who made to order stories of Mixie Blackshort, the heroic bear. Mother, whose witches always, always got baked into gingerbread, I wonder whether you saw them, whether you said words to rid me of those three ladies nodding by night around my bed, mouthless, eyeless, with stitched bald head. In the hurricane, when father's 12 study windows bellied in like bubbles about to break, you fed my brother and me cookies and Ovaltine, and helped the two of us to choir, Thor is angry, boom, 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 Thor is angry, we don't care. But those ladies broke the panes. When on tiptoe the schoolgirls danced, blinking flashlights like fireflies and singing the glowworm song, I could not lift a foot in the twinkle dress, but heavy-footed stood aside in the shadow cast by my dismal-headed godmothers, and you cried and cried, and the shadows stretched, the lights went out. Mother, you sent me to piano lessons and praised my arabesques and trills, although each teacher found my touch oddly wooden, in spite of scales and the hours of practicing, my ear tone-deaf and, yes, unteachable. I learned elsewhere from muses unhired by you, dear mother. I woke one day to see you, mother, floating above me in bluest air, on a green balloon bright with 1,000,000 flowers and bluebirds that never were, never, never found anywhere. But the little planet bobbed away like a soap bubble as you called, "Come here." And I faced my traveling companions. Day now, night now, at head, side, feet, they stand their vigil in gowns of stone, faces blank as the day I was born, their shadows long in the setting sun that never brightens or goes down. And this is the kingdom you bore me to, mother, mother, but no frown of mine will betray the company I keep. Now this particular girl, during a ceremonious April walk with her latest suitor, found herself of a sudden intolerably struck by the birds' irregular babble and the leaves' litter. By this tumult afflicted, she observed her lover's gestures unbalance the air, his gait stray uneven through a rank wilderness of fern and flower. She judged petals in disarray, the whole season sloven. How she longed for winter then, scrupulously austere in its order of white and black, ice and rock, each sentiment within border, and heart's frosty discipline exact as a snowflake. But here a burgeoning unruly enough to pitch her 5 queenly wits into vulgar motley, a treason not to be borne. Let idiots real giddy in Bedlam spring. She withdrew neatly, and round her house she set such a barricade of barb and check against mutinous weather as no mere insurgent man could hope to break with curse, fist, threat, or love either. On this bald hill the new year hones its edge. Faceless and pale as china, the round sky goes on minding its business. Your absence is inconspicuous. Nobody can tell what I lack. Gulls have threaded the river's mud-bed back to this crest of grass. Inland they argue, settling and stirring like blown paper or the hands of an invalid. The wan sun manages to strike such tin glints from the linked ponds that my eyes wince and brim. The city melts like sugar. A crocodile of small girls, knotting and stopping, ill-assorted in blue uniforms, opens to swallow me. I'm a stone, a stick. One child drops a barrette of pink plastic. None of them seem to notice. Their shrill, gravelly gossips funneled off. Now silence after silence offers itself. The wind stops my breath like a bandage. Southward over Kentish town, an ashen smudge swaddles roof and tree. It could be a snowfield or a cloud bank. I suppose it's pointless to think of you at all. Already your dull grip lets go. The tumulus, even at noon, guards its black shadow. You know me less constant, ghost of a leaf, ghost of a bird. I circle the writhen trees. I am too happy. These faithful dark-bowed cypresses brood, rooted in their heaped losses. Your cry fades like the cry of a gnat. I lose sight of you on your blind journey, while the heath grass glitters and the spindling rivulets unspool and spend themselves. My mind runs with them, pooling in heel prints, fumbling pebble and stem. The day empties its images like a cup or a room. The moon's crook whitens, thin as the skin seeming a scar. Now, on the nursery wall, the blue night plants, the little pale blue hill in your sister's birthday picture, start to glow. The orange pompons, the Egyptian papyrus light up. Each rabbit-eared blue shrub behind the glass exhales an indigo nimbus, a sort of cellophane balloon. The old dregs, the old difficulties take me to wife. Gulls stiffen to their chill vigil in the draughty half-light. I enter the lit house. This is the city where men are mended. I lie on a great anvil. The flat blue sky circle flew off like the hat of a doll when I fell out of the light. I entered the stomach of indifference, the wordless cupboard. The mother of pestles diminished me. I became a still pebble. The stones of the belly were peaceable, the headstone quiet, jostled by nothing. Only the mouth-hole piped out, importunate cricket in a quarry of silences. The people of the city heard it. They hunted the stones, taciturn and separate, the mouth-hole crying their locations. Drunk as a fetus, I suck at the paps of darkness. The food tubes embrace me, sponges kiss my lichens away. The jewel master drives his chisel to pry open one stone eye. This is the after hell. I see the light. A wind unstoppers the chamber of the ear, old worrier. Water mollifies the flint lip, and daylight lays its sameness on the wall. The grafters are cheerful, heating the pincers, hoisting the delicate hammers. A current agitates the wires, volt upon volt. Catgut stitches my fissures. A workman walks by, carrying a pink torso. The storerooms are full of hearts. This is the city of spare parts. My swaddled legs and arms smell sweet as rubber. Here they can doctor heads or any limb. On Fridays the little children come to trade their hooks for hands. Dead men leave eyes for others. Love is the uniform of my bald nurse. Love is the bone and sinew of my curse. The vase, reconstructed, houses the elusive rose. 10 fingers shape a bowl for shadows. My mendings itch. There is nothing to do. I shall be good as new.
Lady, your room is lousy with flowers. When you kick me out, that's what I'll remember. Me, sitting here, bored as a leopard, in your jungle of wine-bottle lamps, velvet pillows the color of blood pudding, and the white china flying fish from Italy. I forget you, hearing the cut flowers sipping their liquids from assorted pots, pitchers, and coronation goblets like Monday drunkards. The milky berries bow down, a local constellation, toward their admirers in the tabletop, mobs of eyeballs looking up. Are those petals or leaves you've paired them with, those green-striped ovals of silver tissue? The red geraniums, I know. Friends, friends. They stink of armpits and the involved maladies of autumn, musky as a love-bed the morning after. My nostrils prickle with nostalgia. Henna hags, cloth of your cloth, they tow old water, thick as fog. The roses in the Toby jug gave up the ghost last night. High time. Their yellow corsets were ready to split. You snored, and I heard the petals unlatch, tapping and ticking like nervous fingers. You should have junked them before they died. Daybreak discovered the bureau lid, littered with Chinese hands. Now I'm stared at by chrysanthemums the size of Holofernes' head, dipped in the same magenta as this fubsy sofa. In the mirror their doubles back them up. Listen, your tenant mice are rattling the cracker packets. Fine flour muffles their bird feet, they whistle for joy. And you doze on, nose to the wall. This mizzle fits me like a sad jacket. How did we make it up to your attic? You handed me gin in a glass bud vase. We slept like stones. Lady, what am I doing, with a lung full of dust and a tongue of wood, knee-deep in the cold and swamped by flowers? They are the last romantics, these candles, upside-down hearts of light, tipping wax fingers, and the fingers, taken in by their own halos, grown milky, almost clear, like the bodies of saints. It is touching, the way they'll ignore a whole family of prominent objects, simply to plumb the deeps of an eye, in its hollow of shadows, its fringe of reeds, and the owner past 30, no beauty at all. Daylight would be more judicious, giving everybody a fair hearing. They should have gone out with balloon flights and a stereopticon. This is no time for the private point of view. When I light them, my nostrils prickle. Their pale, tentative yellows drag up false Edwardian sentiments. And I remember my maternal grandmother from Vienna. As a schoolgirl, she gave roses to Franz Josef. The burghers sweated and wept. The children wore white. And my grandfather moped in the Tyrol, imagining himself a head waiter in America, floating in a high church hush among ice buckets, frosty napkins. These little globes of light are sweet as pears. Kindly with invalids and mawkish women, they mollify the bald moon. None sold, they burn heavenward and never marry. The eyes of the child I nurse are scarcely open. In 20 years I shall be retrograde as these draughty ephemerids. I watch their spilt tears cloud and dull to pearls. How shall I tell anything at all to this infant still in a birth drowse? Tonight, like a shawl, the mild light enfolds her. The shadows stoop over like guests at a christening. Overnight, very whitely, discreetly, very quietly, our toes, our noses, take hold on the loam, acquire the air. Nobody sees us, stops us, betrays us. The small grains make room. Soft fists insist on heaving the needles, the leafy bedding, even the paving. Our hammers, our rams, earless and eyeless, perfectly voiceless, widen the crannies, shoulder through holes. We diet on water, on crumbs of shadow, bland-mannered, asking little or nothing. So many of us, so many of us. We are shelves, we are tables, we are meek, we are edible, nudgers and shovers in spite of ourselves. Our kind multiplies. We shall by morning inherit the earth, our foot's in the door.
This is the sea, then, this great abeyance. How the sun's poultice draws on my inflammation. Electrifyingly colored sherbets scooped from the frieze by pale girls travel the air in scorched hands. Why is it so quiet? What are they hiding? I have 2 legs and I move smilingly. A sandy damper kills the vibrations. It stretches for miles, the shrunk voices waving and crutchless, half their old size. The lines of the eye, scalded by these bald surfaces, boomerang like anchored elastics, hurting the owner. Is it any wonder he puts on dark glasses? Is it any wonder he affects a black cassock? Here he comes now, among the mackerel gatherers, who wall up their backs against him. They are handling the black and green lozenges like the parts of a body. The sea that crystallized these creeps away, many snaked, with a long hiss of distress. This black boot has no mercy for anybody. Why should it? It is the hearse of a dead foot, the high, dead, toeless foot of this priest, who plumbs the well of his book, the bent print bulging before him like scenery. Obscene bikinis hide in the dunes, breasts and hips a confectioner's sugar of little crystals titillating the light, while a green pool opens its eye, sick with what it has swallowed, limbs, images, shrieks. Behind the concrete bunkers 2 lovers unstick themselves. Oh, white sea crockery! What cupped sighs, what salt in the throat! And the onlooker trembling, drawn like a long material, through a still virulence, and a weed hairy as privates. On the balconies of the hotel, things are glittering. Things, things. Tubular steel wheelchairs, aluminum crutches. Such salt sweetness. Why should I walk beyond the breakwater, spotty with barnacles? I am not a nurse, white and attendant. I am not a smile. These children are after something with hooks and cries, and my heart too small to bandage their terrible faults. This is the side of a man, his red ribs, the nerves bursting like trees, and this is the surgeon, one mirrory eye. Oh, the facets of knowledge, the pieces, the parts, the drip of salubrious fluids. On a striped mattress in one room, an old man is vanishing. There is no help in his weeping wife. Where are the eye stones, yellow and valuable, and the tongue, sapphire of ash? A wedding cake face in a paper frill. How superior he is now. It is like possessing a saint. The nurses in their wing caps are no longer so beautiful. They are browning like touched gardenias. The bed is rolled from the wall. This is what it is to be complete. It is horrible. Is he wearing pajamas or an evening suit under the glued sheet from which his powdery beak rises so whitely, unbuffeted? They propped his jaw with a book until it stiffened, and folded his hands that were shaking. Goodbye, goodbye. Now the washed sheets fly in the sun. The pillowcases are sweetening. It is a blessing, it is a blessing. The long coffin of soap-colored oak, the curious bearers and the raw date, engraving itself in silver with marvelous calm. The grey sky lowers. The hills like a green sea run fold upon fold far off, concealing their hollows. The hollows in which rock the thoughts of the wife. Blunt, practical boats, full of dresses and hats and china and married daughters. In the parlor of the stone house, one curtain is flickering from the open window. Flickering and pouring, a pitiful candle. This is the tongue of the dead man. Remember, remember, how far he is now. His actions around him like living room furniture, like a decor. as the pallors gather, the pallors of hands and neighborly faces, the elate pallors of flying iris. They are flying off into nothing. Remember us. The empty benches of memory look over stones, marble facades with blue veins and jelly glassfuls of daffodils. It is so beautiful up here. It is a stopping place. The unnatural fatness of these lime leaves, pollarded green balls, the trees march to church. The voice of the priest in thin air meets the corpse at the gate, addressing it while the hills roll the notes of the dead bell. A glitter of wheat and crude earth. What is the name of that color? Old blood of caked walls the sun heals, old blood of limb stumps, burnt hearts. The widow with her black pocketbook and 3 daughters, necessary among the flowers, enfolds her face like fine linen, not to be spread again, while a sky wormy with put-by smiles passes cloud after cloud, and the bride flowers expend a freshness, and the soul is a bride in a still place, and the groom is red and forgetful, he is featureless. Behind the glass of this car, the world purrs, shut off and gentle, and I am dark-suited and still, a member of the party, gliding up in low gear behind the cart. And the priest is a vessel, a tarred fabric, sorry and dull, following the coffin on its flowery cart like a beautiful woman, a crest of breasts, eyelids and lips, storming the hilltop. Then from the barred yard the children smell the melt of shoe blacking, their faces turning, wordless and slow, their eyes opening on a wonderful thing. 6 round black hats in the grass and a lozenge of wood, and a naked mouth, red and awkward. For a minute the sky pours into the hole like plasma. There is no hope. It is given up.
The white light is artificial and hygienic as heaven. The microbes cannot survive it. They are departing in their transparent garments, turned aside from the scalpels and the rubber hands. The scalded sheet is a snowfield, frozen and peaceful. The body under it is in my hands. As usual, there is no face, a lump of Chinese white with 7 holes thumbed in. The soul is another light. I have not seen it. It does not fly up. Tonight it has receded like a ship's light. It is a garden I have to do with, tubers and fruits, oozing their jammy substances, a mat of roots. My assistants hook them back. Stenches and colors assail me. This is the lung tree. These orchids are splendid. They spot and coil like snakes. The heart is a red bell bloom in distress. I am so small in comparison to these organs. I worm and hack in a purple wilderness. The blood is a sunset. I admire it. I am up to my elbows in it, red and squeaking. Still it seeps up. It is not exhausted. So magical. A hot spring I must seal off and let fill the intricate blue piping under this pale marble. How I admire the Romans. Aqueducts, the baths of Caracalla, the eagle nose. The body is a Roman thing. It has shut its mouth on the stone pill of repose. It is a statue the orderlies are wheeling off. I have perfected it. I am left with an arm or a leg, a set of teeth or stones to rattle in a bottle and take home, and tissue in slices, a pathological salami. Tonight the parts are entombed in an icebox. Tomorrow they will swim in vinegar like saints' relics. Tomorrow the patient will have a clean pink plastic limb. Over one bed in the ward, a small blue light announces a new soul. The bed is blue. Tonight, for this person, blue is a beautiful color. The angels of Morphia have borne him up. He floats an inch from the ceiling, smelling the dawn drafts. I walk among sleepers in gauze sarcophagi. The red night lights are flat moons. They are dull with blood. I am the sun in my white coat. Gray faces, shuttered by drugs, follow me like flowers.